and red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Out jammies at night, clothes on the town and not the other way around. Tube top mini skirt, this is never.
Good afternoon. I'm Brad Reed, Superintendent of Schools here in Great Bend. We want to welcome you to another edition of Soup Talk. Today we're at the high school and I'm talking with Mr. Monty Selby, who has come today to help us kick off our school year. He's a motivational singer, songwriter, ex-educator. The thing I really like about Monty, as I told our staff today, is that he's one of us. He's been a teacher in Kansas, a principal, a professor, and he was here with us today to motivate and inspire our teachers, and we wanted to share a few minutes with him on Soup Talk. Monty, tell our community a little bit about what it is you do and how you started out and how you got busy doing what you're doing.
Okay, great. Well, I went to school to be a teacher, and that was the plan, and I did. I started teaching. I ended up working on my master's. This was in Hayes, and so of course with Fort Hayes there, I went ahead and got my master's degree and ended up as an assistant principal and then a principal. And the songwriting part is something I've done since I was a little kid. It was never an intent to make that a career, but I'm kind of drawn to humor a lot of times, so I would write songs about kids or teaching or being a principal, and so people would invite me to come to their school or come kick off a conference. And so eventually, really kind of being up front made me realize I get asked questions I'm not very qualified for, so I wanted to go back to school again. So at K-State, I got my doctorate and ended up teaching at Emporia State for a number of years. And when you teach grad classes in education, it's at night. So a lot of times I'd go into schools to write songs with kids or work with teachers or whatever. And so really the most recent change in direction in my life has been, well, I live in Colorado now, but I'm still working with teachers, and I'm in Kansas a lot. But probably the biggest change is realizing the power of writing songs with kids and the literacy part of it and the experience they have, and that a lot of times what they have to say is an important insight for me as an adult. So it's really a career that I never set out to have, but it's just turned into that, and it's worked good. I love doing what I do.
Well, you can tell that. You have a real passion for it and you have a real talent for it. I'm interested, I know you get to travel around a lot, go to different states around the country. Is there any difference between when you come to Kansas and you're working with Kansas kids and Kansas communities as compared with other places in the country?
That's a great question. I definitely think there are similarities to kids everywhere. My last really crazy thing, I was in Tokyo, Japan, and it was in an American school there. Most of the kids grew up there. I mean, they're Japanese kids. They speak English though. And there are these commonalities of, I think kids want to be heard. They want to do something they're interested in. There are those things. But Kansas really, what kids have in terms of work ethic and what they have in terms of, being respectful to adults and which there are always kids that we can point to that aren't. But overall, you just kind of know, if you walk in a high school gym and you're going to do something with kids, that it's going to be a good audience, and that's an amazing thing. It's something that the more I've traveled, the more I realize, in general, I think Kansas tends to have communities. It's not just bunches of kids that show up at some school. Like the kids in Great Bend are connected with this community and with their schools, and there's that sense, and people show up and support things kids do, and that's really powerful. good thing that I hope Kansas never loses.
I think that's true, and we certainly feel that here. Those of us that live in Kansas, and especially if you've gone away and come back, you can really feel that. What you did with the staff today was just great. We appreciate it. Can you share with our community just a couple of things that you shared with the staff today as we kick off the school year?
Sure. Well, ironically, the two people before me were talking a little bit about stories with the one book idea that kids will write. And so I really kind of ran with the story theme, because I think the stories that we all choose to tell have a great influence. And that goes for every parent or community person who would watch this. When we can choose to tell a story about a neighbor that's either somewhat uplifting or fun, or it can be tearing things down. And we can talk about kids that way and talk about teachers that way. And I think, there are times that news is just news and it gets shared. But when we choose to tell good stories that bring out the best in those around us, that reveal the best in what we see in others, I think it brings out the best. And I think that's a very important concept. And so I hooked that to music with how do you write songs that are powerful, but everybody can choose to tell a good story that might not always be the popular thing to do, but I think it's a very powerful thing to do. And so from there, we took those thoughts and this afternoon hooked them into classroom ideas and connecting with kids. But it was just a really good day. There's a lot of people I've known from this area over the years. And so it was good to be back and connect and feel the enthusiasm and just the energy for wanting this to be a great school year. So.
Well, it was a great day, and the things that you said really resonated with our staff. And I got a lot of good comments today in between sessions, and I think you really helped to set a nice tone for us as we kick off the school year, being positive and appreciating our teachers and appreciating our kids and our parents. So we want to thank you for being with us today.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. You helped us get off to a great start, and we're looking forward to a great school year. If we can do anything to help you to start the school year off good, or anything as we go along through the school year, don't hesitate to contact me or my staff at the district office. We'd be more than happy to help you, or contact one of your principals at the buildings. Till next time, thank you for coming and being a part of Soup Talk again.